to the channel. For those of you that just finished watching episode 5, I decided to go ahead and stick through a little bit longer and finish episode 6. So we'll go ahead and get episode 6 done and over with as quick as possible. And yeah, we'll analyze what happened, you know, what killed him, and we'll go from there. Alright. ReZero episode 6.
最初のシーンは寝てる間の衰弱死ってとこか。だが2度目は襲撃者がいた。俺がやられたってことは屋敷の他の奴らもみんな狙われていたのか。盗品蔵と同じエミリアの応戦絡みで。けどそれが分かっても説明できる証拠も未然に防ぐ手段も俺の手の中にはねえ。おまけに相手の面も獲物も見てない。
Oh wow.
じゃねえか。
死ぬほど鬱陶しいからとっととやめるか吹き飛ばされるか選ぶといいの。
もう悪い悪い。でもこうやってぐるぐるしてっと不思議と頭の方も回るんだよ。多めに見てくれ。俺とお前の仲だろ。
ベティとお前にどんな関係があるのかしら。まだ2回し
Interesting, right? I gotta say, the cinematographer aspect of that, I thought that she was just twirling around as he was walking forward, but interesting that he was going around her, right? What I find overall interesting about her as a character, right? So she is a form of a spirit or something, probably contracted to Roswell, as stated previously. But yet she's bearing, you know, as destructive as she may be, she's she's being very innocent and very nice to Subaru, as though there might be some kind of connection. I wonder how old she is as a spirit, you know, and I wonder if, like, when she made her contract with Roswell, if she did make a contract with him, right? Because she's being very understanding and, you know, just very forthcoming with him. Best way to put it. Anyway. Alright, let me pause that. Back it up just a little bit. So, as stated in the previous series, she doesn't have a lot of friends. It just circulates all around, which is a good call out. I'm going to give myself a pat in the back in that situation, because that was a really good call out. And I didn't expect it to come through, and, you know, Puck really affirms that situation here. So that's really, really nice for that. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Right.
4日目の夜に何者かの襲撃があるという事実だ。ロズワールたちにそれを伝えられればいいが。
You're kind of screwed in both ways, yep.
出所を説明できねえし、下手すると死角の一味と疑われかねない。せめて襲撃者の背格好だけでも分かれば話も違うんだろうが。だから今回はこれから4日間、情報収集に徹して襲撃者の正体を暴いてみせる。そのためには。
Will he screw up again?
褒美は思いのまま。さあ何でも望みを言いたまえ。
だったら俺をショックとしてこの屋敷でくっちゃね放題させてくれ。
Alright, pause. So it seems to me as though he's learning, right? And he's learning about how to take, not advantage, but actually take the best results possible and work from there. Which is good, you know, he's improving as a person. But I wonder if this is actually going to complete him, right? Because he seems to be an individual that's so motivated by, like, simple tasks in order to achieve, like, a grandiose task that, like, I don't think he'd be happy being a guest, right? Because he's no longer able to have that interaction with Ram and Ram, because now there's a weird power dynamic in which he's over them, right? He's not able to get as close to, like, probably not even able to go and run the errands that he was, like, able to run beforehand because of the power dynamic. He's now a guest. He's no longer, like, a maid or whatever, right? Butler, my bad. But still, like, if he would have chosen this in the first 2 routes, I would have been like, cool, you know, he now has established himself as a person of power. But he did it. He established himself a little bit later. So that's going to affect the psyche. That would affect someone's mind, that, like, not being able to get as close to someone without those walls coming up instantly. But yeah, my thoughts.
ありがとう。一緒に飲む？
結構です、お客様。
って、もっと気安く接してくれても構わないんですけど。
Alright, pause. So, I guess this is sort of proving my point, right? The power dynamics have shifted, so he's no longer able to maintain that relationship that he had with Ram and Ram beforehand, right? And granted, like, he is trying to go ahead and find out who killed him, but that might just make it a little bit more difficult because they have to treat him as a guest, right? And the way that he's been roaming around the whole mansion, it's making him seem even more suspicious. And, like, I wonder if they just see him as a freeloader at this point. Like, wow, like, you're just such a freeloader. Like, you're not doing anything to better our standing or better Emilia's standing at this point.
もせずに入ってきて、本当に無礼極まりないやつなのよ。吹き飛ばされる前にとっとと消えた方が身のためかしら。
たんまお前に聞きたいことがあるんだよ。相手を衰弱させて眠ったように殺す魔法とかってあったりする？
あるかないかで言えばあるのよ。
あるのか。
魔法というより呪いの方に近いかしら。呪術師が得意とする術法にそんなものが多いのよ。
呪術師？
まじないし。転じて呪術師は北方のグステコって
国が発明の
魔法や精霊術の亜種かしら。最も出来損ないばかりでとてもまともに扱えたもんじゃないのよ。でも呪いよりももっと簡単な。
But yet it can still happen.
簡単な？
お前はそれを身をもって知ってるはずなのよ。
まさかお前
So she knows?
強引なマナドレインって死ぬ可能性があんのかよ。
マナは生命力そのものでもあるのよ。それを強引に吸い出し続ければ衰弱死させることだってできるかしら。
まさか俺を殺したのお前じゃないだろうな。
残念だけどベティは忙しい。
This is...
お前を殺してやってる手間も惜しいのよ。
これでいいのか？
Okay.
そうマナチューチュー吸うやつって誰でもできんの？
その表現は侵害に尽きるかしら。屋敷だとベティとニーチャぐらいでロズワールにもできないのよ。
意外とレアなスキルなんだな。
Wow. Oh, damn.
話にチューチューやるなよ。特に俺とが真面目に今は血が足りてねえからあっさり衰弱死するぞ。
ああ、モツは全部戻したけど血までは戻らなかったかしら。まあ、ベティもそこ
This is gonna be a long one, I know.
モツ
Mm-hmm.
今の言い方だとなんか俺の傷口塞いだのがお前みたいな感じに聞こえんだけど、エミリアの手柄横取りとか性格
Because she probably was.
あの半端者のために致命傷まで治せる力なんてまだないかしら。
Alright, I'll pause it right there. Wow, okay, that was a long one. But it did bring up a couple of key things, right? Which is, it can be a curse, right? It can definitely be a curse that's brought on by a shaman or something like that, right? So, it brings up a lot of different ideologies from there. And it's also really grateful, really nice of her to go ahead and divulge this information. Because considering that she could just stay quiet about it and let everything go to ruin, that's another option available, right? Also, this library is supposed to be like the forbidden library that Roswell has brought along with all his information or whatever, right? My thing is like, how old is Roswell? Because some of these books seem like, you know, stuff that like it's hard to get, hard to collect or whatever. And like apparently her and Puck are the only ones that are able to use some of these magics, right? Or some of these magics that are old or whatever. So I wonder how old Roswell is. Is he appears to be like, you know, an adult, but is he older than what he seems, right? This is a fantasy world. I'm just guessing. Like there's probably races that can be like thousands of years old but are really young. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Oh, wow. Okay.
しかし、日が経つにつれ気になってくることがありました。それはあの日から訪ねてこなくなった青鬼のことでした。ある日、赤鬼は青鬼の家を訪ねてみました。すると、戸が固く閉まっていて、張り紙が残されていました。そこにはこう書かれていました。赤鬼くん、人間たちと仲良くして楽しく暮らしてください。もし僕がこのまま君と付き合っていると、君も悪い鬼だと思われてしまうかもしれません。それで、旅に出ることにしました。けれども、僕はいつまでも君を忘れません。さようなら。体は大事にしてください。 どこまでも君の友達青鬼。
Damn, this is deep.
黙って何度も読みました。しくしくと涙を流して泣きました。おしまい。
悲しいお話だわ。
そうだな。でも俺は優しい話だと、そうも思う。
登場人物にバカしか
Okay,
言わない
please.
のとラムは思うわ。赤鬼も青鬼も村人たち
Please inform.
まあ手厳しい感想だ。あ、いや俺も否定はしねえけどさ。だから俺はこの話が大好きで大嫌いなんだよ。青鬼の自己犠牲はすげえかっこいいけど、すげえ報われなくてバカだ。俺は
As we can tell, yeah.
と思うタイプだし。
お客様は青鬼をそう思うの。でもラムは赤鬼の方がどしがたいと思うわ。自分の望みに青鬼を巻き込んで、結果自分は何も失わずに青鬼に失わせただけ。
じゃあお前は鬼二人はどうすりゃよかったと思うんだ。
赤鬼は本気で人間と仲良くしたいなら
Broken off his
角でも
horns?
人里へ降りればよかったのよ。青鬼が見ていられなくなる前に身を切るべきだった。
そりゃまた随分と極端な意見だな、おい。
そうかしら。
That's a loaded question. Holy shit.
仲良くしたいと思うの？
Alright.
鬼二人の
願うばかりで尻拭いは人任せの赤鬼と、自己犠牲に浸るバカな青鬼と。
Alright. I have a lot to dive into in this one, but I'm gonna let it play out a little bit. And of course, he chooses both of them, being prideful.
つまらない答え。どっちとも仲良くしたいだなんて、お客様は浮気症で優柔不断ね。いつか後悔するわ。
そう。
Alright, before we continue, let me go ahead and put a pause to that. So right off the bat, right, what you can tell is that there's a lot of projection happening inside of this whole environment. And for those of you that don't know, and remind me in case I do say some terms that, like, you guys are not familiar with, and this just comes because it's not to be like a power over, be like, oh, I know a lot of words. No, it's just sometimes it becomes such a daily routine to use these words that I forget that people don't know what certain words mean, right? Or like the implication of certain words. So projection in this story is essentially putting yourself in the shoes as to what's happening, right? So you, at least the way that Rem was acting and the way that everything was revolving around, it seems as though Rem was putting herself in this, or Ram, my bad. Oh, you see, I still get him confused. Ram is putting himself in these shoes, and it's clear by the red and blue ogre type scenario, right? My thing is, she pointed out something very clear, and also, these two ogres follow very characteristically his behavior as well. Where on one side, he wants a reward for going ahead and doing everything, and on the other hand, right, it's sort of like the duality of human beings. He's sacrificing himself with nothing to gain continuously, other than the illusion that he might make a friend, which sadly he has none at the moment. But yeah, that's sort of my point of view at the moment. We'll see where this goes.
大幕府の彼方より見守っている。王家と交わした約束、その成就の時まで。
あれ、ドラゴンと約束した一族ってついこの間滅んでね。
そうね、割とあっけなく。竜が何を求めているのかそれはわからない。
Interesting.
今の状況で竜がどう動くかは神のみぞ。いえ、竜のみぞ知る。
Beyond the Great Waterfall.
あ、そうだラム。この魔女の話って。
その話はしたくない。長いしすぎたわ。お客様、夕食の時にまたお金あがります。
おう。
さっきのお話、鬼のことだけど、レムには聞かせないでちょうだい。あの子はきっと嫌がるお話だから。
Ooh. Ooh.
怖い魔女。恐ろしい魔女。
Ooh, that was such an abrupt ending. Alright. Okay. A projection. Yep. Alright, pause right there. Her reaction to the whole... I'm not going to tell you the witch story. I don't even want to talk about it. don't even want to like touch it, right? So how are the witch and the dragon connected? So does the dragon protect Lagunica from the witch? And if so, right, how does this imply to the whole overall arching story, right? Where is the dragon, if he does exist? What does Subaru need to do to go ahead and meet this dragon? Will he suffer a lot along the way to meet the dragon and beat the witch? Or is the witch not as bad as she's made out to be? And if there is a witch, are there other witches as well? Or is there only a singular witch, right? Just bringing up fantasy elements, trying to see what's going on, what's happening. Anyway. He didn't go shopping for her, so... Let's see if my theory is right. Oh. It might have been right. Yeah, for the most part, dude. For the most part. Come on, Rem. Prove my theory. Prove my theory, girl. Let's go. Let's go. Yep. Yep. Process of elimination, man. It helps. It helps a lot, but... Alright, pause right there. So, can you imagine, right? If you're putting yourself all this work, and granted this is from an outsider perspective going in, right? And with my knowledge sort of applying into this. But if someone that just blindly trusted everyone, and all of a sudden you see someone that you trust that is trying to kill you, that might, you know what, that might destroy someone. That might really wreck someone and cause more trauma than what it's worth. And I think this is sort of like the evolution of a human being and being granted faced with so many troubles and how he approaches this and how he's trying to go ahead and improve from that. But like, I think that would destroy me as well. It's like seeing someone that, you know, you thought you were generally close with trying to kill you. That's rough, dude. That is so rough. I'm glad it was Rem, though, because that sort of proves my point that, like, my basic instincts of psychology, and it is grounded in sort of realism for it. Like, if they would have brought up that it was Puck or something like that, would have been like, left field, but alright. But, okay, it's Rem. We can work with this. We can see what's going on. Alright. So, I am quickly skimming through trying to see... Okay, there's nothing there. No extra credit scenes. Everything else that is still in here is more like a spoiler, so I'm trying not to watch it unless it's like an actual extra credit scene. So with that being said, guys, I kind of want to bring up some points about this in general, right? Being that, like, he tried to play off the whole idea of a guest, right? He tried to set up traps, or tried to set himself up in a position of power, but granted, it doesn't seem to go off that well, and I don't think it will go off that well if he continues this out. The only thing that I hope he does is reach out for help. He hasn't done that in this whole run through. He has not reached out for help. He has reached out for help in the terms of like simple items, which is like teach me how to like read, teach me how to write, teach me how to cook, teach me how to do certain things, right? But like, you know, maybe telling Puck or telling Beatrice, right? Or if it's a Beatrice, I completely forgot her name. But yeah, but going up to and talking to the spirits and being like, hey, I think my life is in danger. can you guys watch me or like watch over me or so on and so forth? What would it take for me to go ahead and make sure that I'm okay, right? Or what is the issue that you guys see right off the bat of me being here? But he hasn't done any of that. He just assumes that it's okay to continue going forward. And granted, in a mentality like that, like if you're just brought into this world, you would assume so as well. So with that being said, guys, this brings us to the end of our video here. I am so excited to see where this goes and how he clears his channel. Also, I hope that Rem does become his friend. I've been spoiled by one person in the comments that I had to remove the comment from that just kept saying Rem is best girl. And I mean, hey, I've seen some pictures floating around the internet where, like, it's cute or whatever, so I guess Rem is best girl. But sadly, I try not to look at it, so I removed the comment really quickly. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how even that transpires or how this is all fixed. So we'll find out how this all fixes up. With that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. If you guys like my analysis and if you guys want more, let me know in the comments down below. I will be doing Death Note coming up rather soon, and I'll also be finishing off this whole series and season 2, since I know there's a second season. And also coming up for this whole psychology topic, there is attachment and essentially breakups and recovery time, attachments, no contact, a bunch of different areas and topics that are going to be brought up. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Practice some self-care, guys. Go out and do something you love. And if you can't, then play some video games. Do something productive for your own self-care. Love you guys. Take care.